All right, guys, we're going to look at a couple different things. You guys are going to look at using the eyedropper tool, the frame tool, and creating templates. All right, I'm going to give you guys kind of a brief overview of all of those things really quickly. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in. So this is what you guys are going to be doing today. You guys are going to make sure you can use the eyedropper tool. If you can't, we're going to kind of fix some of those errors. We're going to look in sections. So like if your eyedropper tool is not working, you always want to make sure that you've got this fill area instead of the stroke on top. If you do that, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to do, especially if this happens, right? So we're going to kind of talk about that. You can also double click here. And you always want to make sure you check your fill settings, all right, and check over things like that as you go to it. Otherwise, you should be good. But let's go ahead and jump in. So this is what you guys are going to be creating today. All right, so let's go ahead and first of all, I'm going to start off because for you guys are going to start with a new document. For this one, we're going to use our basic 8.5 by 11. All right, and you can go ahead and name this chapter 3-3 assignment. All right, whatever you want to do. All right, and then go ahead and click create. So what you're going to notice here, 8.5 by 11. Make sure it's in inches. All right, make sure you've got this portrait or that vertical orientation. And what we're going to go ahead to make sure you guys have these rulers across the top, go to window. All right, and then, oh, not window, you're going to go down to view. And you want to make sure, all right, that you guys have the rulers where they can be seen. Secondly, you want to make sure your guides are on, and we're going to go from there. So to start with, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab these. I'm going to grab this down, all right, at 2 inches. All right, and then I'm going to bring the other one. Since it's 8.5 by 11, I'm going to come up from 11 to 9 inches. All right, that way we have the same space from the top and the bottom. And then referencing here, I just came over 1 inches and went to 5. So now from the side, we're going to click and drag. So click on the ruler, drag across till you're at 1 inch. Click and drag across until you're at 5 inches. Now what that's going to create here for us, all right, is that now, is going to create is that perfect rectangle. And now what we're going to use right here, we're going to use the rectangular frame tool. Now you're going to have different shapes. You have the circular or the polygon. We're going to use the rectangle. And as you can see, it automatically, that little cursor showed up, is snapping to the edge. As I get closer, you're going to see it snap in there. Right? And boom, now we have that frame. Now it didn't 100%. You can kind of we can fix that there in a second. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it while I can. It didn't snap. I pulled away from it at the end. See how I pulled away? All right, there we go. Now our frame is lined up in that area we want. Now that we have that, let's go ahead. We got to have something to put in our frame. So what you guys can do is use this website called Unsplash. I'm on it right now. All right, unsplash.com, and then let's use something. We can use an animal picture. Okay, you guys can use one that you like. Get one. It helps. Let's do this one. I really like that one. All of the unless it says plus, all right, all of these are free. So I'd like to find one that's got really good colors in it. That one's got some good colors. Um, Bright popping colors. I like this one. You kind of have the animals there. So I'm going to click download. All right. And as you can see, it's going to download here at the bottom. Then we're going to click double click. All right. This is one that was one I used before. And now I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. The only reason I double click is so it makes it easier when I go to place it. So I'm going to click file. Now I'm going to go to place. And right here where I just downloaded it, now that I have that selected, I'm going to click open. And there we go, it's going to pop in. Now, what you're going to notice, it didn't automatically fill in that area. All right, what you actually have to do is Command, Option, Shift, C. Press those all at the same time. That is Command, Option, Shift, and C. That's 4 at the same time. All right, to make it fit to the frame automatically. Yes, you can do it other ways. I find that's the easiest way to fit it proportionally, and then if you need to make any adjustments, kind of go from there. Remember, you can kind of grab in here, all right, and you can move that. It's in the frame, but if you grab, right, you can move this inside the frame itself. We don't want to do that. I'm going to go back and get us back. Okay, so now that I'm going to click off, we're good. It's fit proportionally. We're good to go. Now what we're going to do, we are actually going to use our rectangle tool, which is right here, and we are going to add some squares. Now, what we're going to notice, okay, if you go back to this one, we want to make sure they're all spaced out equally. And what I found is the easiest, right, is to make sure you cut on your document grid. And your document grid is going to show all of those lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to notice, okay, there's that. There's about 2 All right, 2 in, okay? 2 down before we do it, and then we're gonna make these apparently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 squares long, okay? 9 by 9 by 9. We'll just make it 9 by 9. Okay, so let's go first. We're gonna go view, all right, guides and grids. We're gonna say show document grid. So now it's gonna look like this. It's gonna kind of look messy. All right, we're gonna come down to, all right, just like we did before, come down to, and then we're gonna make it a 9 by 9. So let's go 1, all right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there we go. So we see that it needs to be 113 by 113-ish. Okay. Now it's not snapping to that automatically, which is fine. We do want it to be pretty close in that sense. Okay. And there we go. That is what we want. Now, we're going to look at a couple different things. Now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold down, or we're going to switch to our selection tool. And now what you're going to see is you can press two different keys. So if you do Option, all right, you're going to see it made a copy there. All right. So what we're going to do, holding the Option key, when that pops up, oh, we got to select that first. All right, get it back selected. If I hold Option, you see how it has that double arrow? That means it's going to duplicate. So when I click and drag, all right, now I'm going to go down two boxes in between them. And you see those green lines? That shows that they're in line with one another. All right, go down two. You see those arrows popping up? That's showing equidistance. All right, we want to keep that all the way down. All right, and go ahead. My other one only has 4 boxes. Go ahead for the sake of this one and keep 5 boxes. All right, so now what we're going to do is, now that we have that equally across, we're somewhat situated. You can see I actually have a little bit more space. So I'm actually going to kind of just play with this just a hair. I'm going to keep everything in line here, okay? And try to eyeball that for the most part. All right, as we get into it, that's why the importance of the grids are there. So now that I'm done with that grid for the most part, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to go back and I want to say hide document grid, because that makes it look a lot better. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and add our next part. And what you're going to see, we're going to add what you guys are learning here today: eyedropper, frame, guides, shape tool, and text. Okay, so let's go ahead and, using the text tool, we're just going to simply, I'm going to grab at this corner and I'm going to go all the way over. All right. I'm going to go back because I didn't get it as far as I wanted. And now that I'm all the way over, I'm going to go ahead and type what we are learning today. Okay. So eyedropper, frame tool. All right. That's to use your picture. All right. Text. And let's do one more. And shape tool. All right. That'll work. All right, now that we have that, I want you to also go down, and we're going to say who it's by. I want your name on this. And now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and I want you guys to format this. So use this as center, because I don't want it over to the side. I want it to be centered. And let's go ahead and make everything all caps by clicking the top, 2 capital T's there. And then let's make it a different font. You guys can choose a font of your choosing. All right, and then make it bigger so that it can be easily seen. All right, once we have that, let's go ahead and move into the next part. All right, where we want to use the eyedropper tool. So what you can use, you can either press on the keyboard I, the letter I, or you can go over here to eyedropper tool. And now what I want you guys to do is I want you to sample different colors. So when I click right here, because I had that selected, that's where it filled in. I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to make sure nothing's selected by clicking over into this gray area. I'm going to press I to go back to my eyedropper tool. And now when I grab this, you can see that it grabbed that brown color I just clicked on. And now I'm going to drop it right here. Now, to get it rid of that, I'm going to go ahead and press I again. All right, and now I'm going to sample these blues and try to, you see how it filled it in? It changed it over here. All right, and I'm going to keep doing that until I get, all right, all of these boxes filled. And what that's going to do is going to give me an idea of the different colors that this goes with. So I'm going to try to sample that gray. All right, and fill it in. Now, this is where you guys would take a screenshot and submit. However, there's a few things I want you to see. All right, right here, you see how we just got our color palette that we could use if we wanted to use something that had a theme our color theme, what you can look here is to automatically do that. You can actually choose on a color. And as you notice, that is pretty similar. So what I want you guys to actually do is show me that you are pretty close with the color theme. By taking a screenshot right here. This is what you'll submit for 3-3. All right, you guys will create this from scratch. And then the last thing I want to show you, there's nothing to screenshot, but say you have to do this twice. All right, what you can actually do is go to File. Instead of creating everything new, all right, you may have to do it twice. You're going to do File, all right, and Save As. And after you save a copy of it, you want to make sure you save one as a template. Right, so if I say chapter 3-3, you don't have to name it template, but it will help. What I would do is do file save as template, and now what will happen, all right, you'll want to save this one, but if I go to file open, all right, and open it, everything will be just like it is now. So you'll want to do that under a copy, right? So I opened it up, and as you can see, it opened up a brand new one like this. So now I could get rid of this. If I wanted to put in a brand new picture, all I would have to do is have that one already downloaded. Ooh, hold up. Brand new picture. All right, with this section open, we're going to do File, Place. We're going to go back to one of our other recents. Let's say this one. I'm going to put it there. Remember that shortcut is going to be, there we go. If you needed it, is Command, Option, Shift, and C. All right, and now we're going to use the eyedropper tool once more. And now we're going to, boom, fill these in with the different colors that we get. If you're having trouble with your eyedropper tool, this is where you would tell me. All right. And one last one. So there we go. Now let's just see, based off of our color theme tool, this would be your second screenshot. Not as close this time, but this would be your second screenshot for this assignment. All right, once you're done with that, make sure both of those screenshots are turned in and submitted based off of this template and this theme. All right.